Previously on the Midnight Channel.
Release yourself.
Okay then. Even low-level personas tend to have useful skills on them like single-target debuffs. They're still great against bosses. Yeah, I usually avoid Take Minakata because he's weak to both light and dark, which is usually awful on the protagonist. I'm pretty sure Michael's involved in a few, like, special multi-fusion spreads. So while I'm searching around here for the Prime Magus, or it could just appear immediately, okay, we can actually replace Black Spot with Ready Death.
Come, Kanzeon.
I think that's her first time using Kanze. They're all synced. I don't think I've ever seen them do that before. They're all completely in sync. Not quite, Heaven's Blade. Not quite God's Hand.
I've gotten a little stronger?
But yes, quite Maragidyne. And, past Maziodyne. You know what, I'm actually gonna get rid of High Counter.
It's level up time.
Oh yes! I was about to say, I'm gonna find everything on the 8th and 9th floors just in case they're Jotuns of Blood, and of course, the first one was a Jotun of Blood. I read something on the internet about this fight that I really want to test, so no ice immunity for you anymore. Here is the million-dollar question, is this gonna work? Yeah, Lost Okina is bewildered. Let's see over 1,000 damage again. Chakra Ring. So okay, Trumpeter already naturally drains ice and repels Elec, so if you can get skills that... Okay, Mamuda on. Repel Fire, Absorb Physical. Repel Physical. Absorb Wind, Repel Fire. And so I don't forget, Mind Charge, and I also want Auto Mataru. It was my last request, and it made you invincible. Oh no, what have I done? And now, you know them, you love them, that this might be the end for the investigation team, as they enter the culprit's twisted mental labyrinth. Who will win, amateur teenage detectives or egocentric serial killer? And the real question on everyone's lips, how will we ever top this finale? We're glad you asked, because the next season of the Midnight Channel will be in augmented reality.
And you won't have to wait very long to see it.
So, finally, let's go catch Adachi. Here we are, back where it all began, the desolate bedroom. Were these posters on the walls of Misuzu Hiragi with their faces ripped out? That could represent maybe Mayumi Yamano's suppressed resentment for her, being in love with Namatame and all, and that scarf that she wore at the Imagi Inn, it's being used as a noose now. It might imply that she maybe had some kind of suicidal thoughts over, her affair, possibly. It's even worse if you think that maybe that's how her shadow killed her. I mean, that's not true according to the anime. The shadow basically just turned into a giant mass and consumed her, but I like to think how she died in the game is, well, yeah, just makes it even worse. Anyway, the dialogue for Adachi's dungeon is actually really interesting. I'll actually talk more about why this dialogue is interesting later on. Let's enter what I like to call Adachi's Palace, and I might be quiet for a little bit once I'm in here because this dungeon has possibly my favorite dungeon theme in the game. Oh, this song is so great. It has this air of finality to it while also getting you really, really pumped to catch this guy. And with his taunts, and I love how the stairs in this place are just these ominous portals. And the whole place is just Inaba covered in danger signs and police tape and a blood-red sky. I definitely feel like some elements of the palaces in Persona 5 were inspired by this place. And the name, Magatsu Inaba, it's kind of interesting. Oh, also, this hand right here is also kind of interesting. Just to quickly change my tune for a little bit. So, this hand is another reason why you're practically guaranteed to get the Going Nova trophy, because it has literally over 9,000 HP, but it has, like, no defense at all. So, you're gonna do thousands of damage to it in one hit. You'll see. And I also, for some reason, equipped Naoto's, the bones don't look good with this outfit, but yeah, I equipped Naoto's, cheerleader outfit by accident instead of the deep blue clothes. And we are auto Mataru, so I guess I can drop its defense a bit. I don't know what this thing does in terms of offense. Oh, it can summon things.
What, more of them? Gee.
Okay, we've got a Silent Book and a Nemean Beast. But before we do anything else, I'm just gonna nuke everything with Power Charge or Mighty Attacks. I can show you how much damage a Power Slash does to this thing. Yep, just a not even power charged.
Darkness will work. This'll be an easy win.
Okay, I'll do that later.
3 of them.
Because I'm charged up. Let's go, Megadola. Not even power charged, and I already do over 1,000 damage with a pretty weak attack too. Yeah,
Elimination complete.
like 10,000. Yeah, those things, I think they actually have 1 endurance. So, they go down easily. But yes, die for me. This thing actually says it seems to imply it's guaranteed. I don't actually think that's true. I think it's a 60% chance. It's not Death Flies from mainline SMT. And we can trade in Power Slash for the better version. Brave Blade is actually very strong. I find that at this point, Yosuke actually becomes kind of decent. He's mostly a jack-of-all-trades, master of none, but he is pretty much the one good mixed attacker of the party. I mean, Naoto technically, but seriously, who uses physical attacks on Naoto? Speaking of Naoto, I've got to equip her deep blue clothes. And yeah, she gets the Theodore version as well, so we're all Theodores! The army of Theodores has invaded. But yeah, with both Brave Blade and a scan...
Darkness will work. This'll be an easy
Oh, that's perfect. With both Brave Blade and Wind Amped Garudine.
enemy defeated. Keep going, off to a good start.
Yosuke is a very solid mixed attacker, which is something that can't really be said for a lot of other members of the party. That's the thing about Yosuke, like, in general, I actually find that, like, some people have said that, like, everyone got buffed in, oh, I think that's an exclusive, like, Theodore-esque victory pose, but some people have said that pretty much everyone got buffed in Golden, and while I do think that Persona 4 has one of the best party balances of any RPG, well, not of any RPG, it's still pretty good, like, considering a lot of RPGs have some pretty bad, balance. P4, I don't think there's any bad characters.
Careful. It's
Agitating Hablari, and apparently it's immune to electricity, and it can't be weak to ice or light because I've switched over to Loki.
reset scan. It's weak to fire.
Oh, I was thinking it'd be dark. I had a feeling you'd be weak to Alice, but not in that way. So yeah, everyone is decent to some extent, and I don't think there are any truly bad members of the party. That may have been the case in the vanilla version, especially Kanji not getting Power Charge, although apparently even without Power Charge, his Primal Force still outdamaged Chie's Power Charge God's Hand. That's just how high Kanji's strength stat is. And Naoto in the original game was also kind of lame in a few regards. But in Golden, they buffed a lot of party members, and in general, everyone is pretty useful. Yosuke, I feel, is the one person who got the short end of the stick in Golden, and that's not because he's bad, but more because he didn't change much, while everyone else got buffed either slightly, like Chie, or significantly, like Kanji. Divine Pillar? Oh, wow, okay, we're just getting all the broken things. Not that I need that on you since he's invincible with Trumpeter, but, yeah, I was talking about the Divine Pillar before. That was an accessory from Persona 3, which you needed to get from the heart item from Alilat, I think, who was the Ultimate Empress. Divine Pillar gives you the, Firm Stance skill. So, you take half damage, but you can't dodge. So give it to someone... Kanji's actually not even that slow. I almost wonder if Teddy would benefit from that to some extent. The whole party of P4 is actually pretty evasive. And especially with their evade skills, it effectively renders that skill slot worthless, so think before you use it. It's probably best on the protagonist in a way, but again, I don't need that because I have Trumpeter. It's also extremely useful for the New Game Plus Super Boss, just saying.
Be careful.
So I still don't know what those eagles are weak to, but I know that you're weak to dark.
Don't give up now, okay?
Well, I can use my one more to switch personas. And I can easily recover this SP with, Rise. I am a little worried that I'll make this dungeon look like a joke, because, yeah, we are quite strong at this point. It's kind of how things go at the end of Persona 4. It's definitely a case of early game hell. The very start of P4 is insanely difficult, but it definitely balances out the further you go. I like those pants Naruto's wearing. They almost look like they have Tron lines on them.
Well done, everyone.
Although, for some reason, the gun just doesn't really fit that outfit, I feel. I do want to show off a lot of the enemies here, though.
Be careful.
Obviously not these things, because they're just going to instantly die to, in this case, Naruto.
Well done, everyone. Ooh, congratulations.
I don't mind too much that I'm over-leveling you. You kind of want to be level 75 for the boss here, but Yu's stats are dependent on his personas, and a lot of the personas that I have at this point don't even have that great stats, so I don't feel like he's that overpowered. Offensively, that is. Defensively, at this point, he's completely busted.
Now then, what's next?
All right, I leveled up.
Why aren't you giving me shuffle time? You might notice the enemies here are around level 70 from the start, so they are still fairly strong. I bought some more Balms of Life from the store before going in here. So, next floor. No taunt from Adachi this time. However, yep, there's Adachi's taunt. Oh yeah, and you're just the exemplar of a well-behaved member of society, aren't you? Yeah, I also just... The thing that I love about this dungeon is not just the music and the atmosphere, but it has... Like, for a randomly generated dungeon, it has so much personality to it, because...
Oh, be careful. Light's no good on this one.
The dungeon weaponizes trolling, essentially. And it just fits Adachi's character so much, the fact that he thinks of everything as a game. I had this sneaking suspicion that you guys repel or drain at wind, but I'll try anyway. Yeah, I knew it, drain.
It's not
3
working.
enemies left. You can win this.
He's just messing with us, and the fact that he has pretty much full control over his own TV world, like, unlike our parties, which were born from our own, like, suppressed, desires and anxieties,
Keep it up.
Let's do this. Persona.
Adachi just loves messing with people, and is completely open about this being the way that he, like, he's not even hiding his true self from us anymore. He hides it from everyone else, but he doesn't need to hide it from us, and so he can just go shamelessly all out with this place. It's implied that he has full control over it, again, much like the palace rulers in...
Uh-oh, that one.
Okay, so we didn't get a weakness ping on any of these things, but I kind of want to try this anyway. Firstly,
No problem.
okay, no auto skills, but they are ailment inducing. Something someone in the comments told me is that the Papillon enemies tend to have, like, low-tier magic skills, but they make up for it with extremely high magic, like, raw magic stats. Brave Blade also hits very, very hard, as you can see. So pretty effective despite Yosuke not really being a physical specialist. I could just read stop on that sign there. In terms of the symbolism of this dungeon, this could represent the way that Adachi views Inaba. I personally have two views on this. Either Adachi sees Inaba as so boring and pointless that to him it might as well be a barren ruin, or Adachi sees Inaba as some kind of post-apocalyptic playground for him to just do whatever the hell he wants in. Either of those work, I think. Also, it's a vision of what Inaba will become if we fail to stop him.
Your weaknesses. It's weak to light. Beat it and move on.
All hail the great king who's gonna die instantly to Hammer. I have a feeling this thing also has a lot of HP. Oh, okay, so in the vanilla Persona 4, I still can't believe I haven't even used Trumpeter at all. I've just been more focusing on offense over defense here. But in the vanilla Persona 4, I think that king can summon a Bambino type of enemy, and if you just put yourself on rush mode and made yourself immune to physical, you could just let him keep summoning Bambinos, and you could just infinitely grind experience by leaving the game on overnight. They fixed that in Golden. I'm pretty sure this strategy does not work anymore. But there is a video of it from the vanilla game out there on YouTube. Now, you might also notice something about this dungeon. We don't even have a floor name here. We're still in Magatsu Inaba. So, yeah, we don't even know where we are at this point. For all we know, we're going around in circles. Not a lot of variety in enemies at this point, though, which is disappointing me a little bit. And I also keep talking over Alice's, Persona call out. You know, I should probably give Yosuke a better weapon right now. Yeah, combined with Risei's, SP recovery, Naruto with the Chakra Ring pretty much never runs out of SP. Well, even the non-gold shadows here are worth so much experience. It's pretty cool. But let's continue exploring this place. I guess I can go back onto what I was saying about Yosuke being comparatively underpowered. It's just that, like, in Golden, the only new things he really got were Mucka Jam early game, and status ailments aren't even that good in P4. And other than that, like, he has pretty bad bike skills.
No way.
No, Risei. Even Risei's insulting Yosuke. But yeah, his bike skills aren't good. He does get a unique skill later in the game, but it's also fairly average. And like, again, like in the original game, he's still quite good, and he's still like everything he was in the original. It's just that, everyone else got buffed while he stayed mostly the same. Infinite Sand. Okay, I know you're not weak to Dark then, so let's try Loki. Okay, I noticed I don't really have much in the way of electrical skills in this party, so that might be why I'm not getting a lot of weakness scans in. Also, Loki, please cover up your... yeah. That is the downside of him not using the cape design anymore. That's Yosuke's first Persona call out there. First new Persona call out, at least. I like the way Yosuke says it, and I just realized that Yuri Lowenthal voices two characters who have things called Susanoo. If I think Sasuke has that, has something named after that, because Naruto also likes naming things after Japanese mythology. And there's also Blaze Blue, which also names things after Japanese mythology. A 1 of coins. Oh yeah, I did promise that later on I might talk about the symbolism of the coin cards, and like the sword cards, and the wand cards, and the cup cards, because they actually have symbolism too. Niflheim, okay then. All of these are good in various ways. Ugh. Icebreaker. I can always get that back, though, with just 15,000 yen, which is just like one hand encounter. Yeah, I may as well get rid of Icebreaker. I just wanted to use it for that fight. But I guess I can try out Niflheim. Named after the realm of ice in Norse mythology, which you'd know if you, one, have seen the Thor movies, or have read the Thor comics, and two, would know if, you play Fire Emblem Heroes. They just removed the Heim off of the, like, Muspelheim and Niflheim for heroes, because they just mean land, I think, or realm. Okay. So, yes, Adachi is right there. But this door is stuck and will not open. Let's explore the rest of the floor, though. This music is called Long Way. I guess that just, you know, explains how long we've progressed in our investigation, how we've come so far on this journey.
Uh-oh, that one's immune to darkness.
Seeing as those things are weak to fire, I'm guessing Niflheim's not going to go well on them. I'm going to try it on this guy, though. It's pretty solid damage, at least. Okay, I can live with that. I should mention as well, this dungeon is one of the ones where you can get some quite high cup, coin, wand, and sword cards. I forget if rank 10 sword cards are available in here or not. I actually did find something online that actually showed like what levels of sword cards appear in every dungeon. Because these skill cards that you get out of rank 10 sword cards are amazing. But anyway, as you can see, we've hit a dead end. There's nowhere to go. Also, one thing that I want to show you about Magatsu Inaba, Go-Ho M's don't work in here. So what you're supposed to do is wander around here for ages and ages until you either look up a guide or accidentally stumble upon the correct solution. And that is this conspicuous hole in the middle here. You can examine it. Well, okay, nothing to lose, I guess. That was the only way out of that floor. But we still haven't made any progress in unlocking the door Adachi himself is behind. Welcome to the real dungeon, Magatsu Mandala. This place Go-Ho M's do work in, and everything is an even darker shade of red here. So Mandala can refer to a few things in mythology. That thing looks pretty cool, actually.
It's weak to light.
But it's gonna die to light anyway. It's a concept in Hinduism, but also even Shintoism. It literally means circle in Sanskrit.
Get me going.
You know, I should probably be equipping Trumpeter just so I can level you up and get Debilitate, because I really need that. Although I'd also kind of like to fuse Norn, who I think I actually might be able to get at this point. Also, Trumpeter has Zeo, so I could use that to try and uncover some electric weaknesses. What I was saying is, it sort of can mean sacred space, and it helps with meditation and things like that, but what I personally feel that it's going for is that in certain types of mysticism, it can represent the cosmos and the universe. So what I think that, well, before I talk about this, I'm going to need to explain what Magatsu means. Magatsu is a bit of a complicated term. It comes from the Japanese deity Yasuo Magatsuhi, who you'll know about if you've, oh, hi Belphegor, new persona for the compendium. If you played Shin Megami Tensei 4, he's a very, very memorable boss from that game. Yasuo Magatsuhi, I believe, emerged when Izanagi washed himself from the filth of the underworld and gave birth to Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo. I kind of like Ice Amp on Teddy, actually, but, Umrita is still good, but I have a few Umrita sodas. I'm going to get rid of that for now. And yeah, Teddy's learned all of his skills. The filth that he washed from his body... Yeah, okay, so I just wanted to look this up to make sure I was getting this right. So, the filth that he washed off of his body became two gods. Yaso Magatsu Hinokami, which means 80 calamities god, which actually fits with Yaso Inaba and Yasogami High, meaning 80 gods. And O Magatsu Hinokami, which is great calamity god. So that's where this term Magatsuhi comes from.
Now, okay?
Oh, yours.
In this case, just shortens to Magatsu. It's a common concept in the Shin Megami Tensei series as well. In Nocturne, it's this kind of material that comes from demons, and you need a certain amount of it to summon your Reason God. Oh. Well, I guess I have to now. I could have tried to change it with the Priestess, but oh well. So some people will take this as a Shin Megami Tensei reference, but considering all of the references to Izanagi and his children in Japanese mythology in this game, I like to think that it's a reference to that myth. So it can often just mean kind of calamity or like filth or corruption. Basically, it's corrupt Inaba, and in this case, Magatsu Mandala. I believe like the idea they're going for here is first Inaba will be corrupted, and then the entire world, or even the entire universe. I've noticed that a lot of enemies in here really don't like Naoto. How fitting that enemies in Adachi's dungeon are very vulnerable to a detective. A non-corrupt detective, that is. Also, Yamato Takeru, a lot of people find their animations to be really disappointing compared to Sakuna Hikuna. Sakuna Hikuna is pretty cool and has those like really cool mosquito circling animations for casting spells or attacking, whereas Yamato Takeru just stands in place when casting. It's kind of lame. But yeah, no way to go back to Naoto's initial persona. So yeah, if you're making your way through Magatsu Mandala, which has 6 floors, and I know that very well because this is actually the place that I do most of my endgame grinding in. That's because it actually is the last dungeon in the game to have Gold Shadow. Well, that's not technically true, but the last dungeon in the game to have Gold Shadows that actually matters. Although I actually think the Gold Shadows in Heaven are a little bit more efficient to grind. But the Gold Shadows that give the most experience are in here. Okay, it's not wind, or electricity. It could still be ice. Or it could be Brave Blade crits. Brave Blade has a high critical ratio too. Huh, the crit on there didn't really do that much more damage than a normal attack did. That's weird. Also, the personas in here make for some great compendium fodder for fusing things, because they're pretty high level, as you'd expect. Queen's Nail. For some reason that sounds like a Final Fantasy weapon or item. I know there's like a recurring, there's Save the Queen, but there's also like a recurring spear called Dragon Whisker. So I feel like Queen's Nail could be the name of some kind of weapon in an RPG. Anyway, this is like, I don't know how, this is interesting because like some people have said that it often makes sense to leave Magatsu or Magatsuki unlocalized because it's really hard to translate. But if I was, like, to translate it, I'd probably call it something like either, like, filth, corruption...
3 enemies left. Oh, you can win this.
Like, even gore-stained. Like, gore-stained Inaba kind of has a nice ring to it. But really, the idea they're going for is just, like, corruption. And, like, maybe even decay, because it's like, you know, the gore and filth from the underworld that washed off of Izanagi. Also, I didn't point this out before, but these signs here. Danger, shadow crossing. I think that's pretty cool, too. Again, it's just another example of what Inaba will become like if we let Adachi have his way. We're trying to bring you to justice. Huh, you predicted exactly what I was going to say. I mean, he kind of has a point when we go to Yosuke. I do find it really interesting that Yosuke just... his shadow is so similar to Adachi. But I'll get to that later. But seriously though, this line is like, okay, Adachi, you just killed a teenager because you wanted to have sex with her? No, I don't see what you're getting at. Well, I mean, here's the thing, like, we are, you know, getting satisfaction out of what we're doing, but at the same time, we're doing this to help people. We're doing this to make sure justice is done. We're doing this to make sure that you don't kill anyone again. Ruja Ring is the counterpart to the Chakra Ring. It halves the cost of physical attacks.
Be careful. There's
Battle
an enemy
Wheel.
immune to
Oh,
light.
and that's new too. I love these enemies.
Wow, it's puny. This'll be cake.
I think I talked about this in Persona Q or The Answer, but I love how they have, like, lightning on their sword. That's really awesome. I'm just going to keep Trumpeter equipped for the time being.
Got it. It's weak to wind. This'll be a breeze.
I had a feeling something here would be weak to wind.
Here goes.
Okay, in terms of raw recording time, I'm getting a little while into this. I think I might end up
Show, huh?
calling this apart after this floor.
Your weaknesses. Darkness will work.
Yeah, I had a feeling you're weak to some form of instant death. Again, like, this place really does not like Naoto, which is perfectly fitting. I don't think that was the case in the vanilla game, though. They added a lot more light and dark weaknesses on enemies in Golden to make Naoto a lot more useful. Okay, Kartakeya, you are a great source of... I don't think I can get Sweet Bonus anyway. I don't want to lose Dealt Card either, but Kartakeya is a great Shuffle Time persona to pick up, because I think he naturally has, Okay, I can check it now. Yes, he naturally has Oro Mataru, which is an amazing skill to pass down. I guess I can get rid of... No, I can get rid of my Andra. Probably be able to do another big fusion session with this stuff. Yeah, who needs hands? You get so much experience out of the regular enemies here, it's great. Because obviously, we're going to need all the strength we can get. We will be facing Adachi soon, and we should not underestimate that guy. He has full control over this place.
Your weaknesses.
Yeah, that had to be electricity. There was nothing else it could be. Not sure about the Jotun, though. Okay, I guess... Then I missed.
Oh, it's weak to physical attacks.
Oh, but it has evade physical. I hate these enemies. Triple evasion against their weakness.
There, got it. Light will work on
They're
it.
also weak to light.
Oh, yours.
Speaking of the Jotuns, they're actually called Hecaton Kaias in Japanese. I don't know if I've said that before. I might have. It's kind of interesting that they changed the name of some of the generic shadow types. Like, the wheels are called Fort, like as in strength. I've mentioned that before. I know I have. And the idols are called Maria in Japanese. Don't know if they thought that was maybe too religious. I don't know. But I guess they might have thought that Hecaton Kaias is a bit too much of a mouthful. But it's funny, they changed one mythological reference to another one. From, like, the 100-handed giants in Greek mythology to giants from Norse mythology. Speaking of which, I do kind of want Norn. Who's a Jotun in Norse mythology. But I don't think I've actually fused all of the fates yet. With Muhammad on Mahmuda on, Naoto sweeps through random encounters like they're nothing. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! I read that as Ogma Brocade for a second. Yes! Debilitate. I know who's getting a face full of that when we fight him. But, in terms of other skills, I guess I can get rid of Elec Amp. I want to keep Zerodyne because I want to just test enemies for electric weaknesses in here. And only one more level in Heat Riser. Yeah, Trumpeter is an extremely common persona. I've mentioned that before, but, a lot of people who fight the endgame bosses in this game, they use Trumpeter, along with Yoshitsune. Speaking of which, I will probably fuse Yoshitsune at some point in this dungeon. Just because. Life Stone. Those sell for a decent amount. Well, that worked out well. Didn't get the half money, got a chest key, got Persona, who I'm gonna have to... I think I'll get rid of you, I guess. And yet more of those Ogma brocades. I remember the old days, back when people used to call that guy Oguma. Ah, the early days of Fire Emblem fan translations. Not exactly appropriate to be talking about at this point, but, hi, Purple Sigil.
Problem. It'll be over.
Okay, I know it can't be weak to electricity then.
3 of them. Don't give up now, okay?
Go, Susanoo!
Okami leaves the O off of Susanoo.
Keep it up, Yosuke-senpai. 2 defeated.
Okay, not weak to light or dark either. I can try them, but I have a feeling they'll be nulled. Nope, okay then. Naruto still sweeps everything. Oh, okay, well, it's gone. And Hellbike is new. Speaking of things that have different names in Japanese, Hellbiker is called Hell's Angel in Japanese. I don't know if they worried that they could potentially get into legal trouble for that, because, like, it's an actual real-life group. Yeah, Jin's not that great when he doesn't repel physical. Oh, and Jatayu, who... Do you have anything good? Not really. Yeah, I really need to go to the Velvet Room and fuse some things. Also, Vorpal Blade. Normally a great skill, just not really on Naruto. Yeah, I might as well keep Hammer Boost. By the time we reach the end of this dungeon, we should actually have all of our skills on all of our party members, because it's kind of designed that by level 75, everyone will have everything. B-Chain's nice. Already found the stairs here, so I guess there's really not much point to staying here. And I guess I'll move on to the next floor. Is this the interesting floor? Yes, it is. Okay, then. Okay, no fighting the enemies. Well, the enemies were pretty lame anyway, so it's not like I really want to fight them. Now the shadow's catching you. Okay, then. It's particularly annoying if there is a hand that shows up here, because then you can't fight it. And that's exactly what Adachi wants to happen. Because he is a troll. In fact, now that I think about it, I think there's actually a mini-boss at the end of this floor, I just remembered that. This floor is also really freakishly big, but I don't like to explore most of it, because if a single shadow catches you, you get warped back to the beginning. They basically all become, floor masters, wall masters, I forget which is which. They both kind of do the same thing anyway. Also, the Reaper is here, but, that's a dead end. Okay, let's just keep pressing on and on and on. As now I know Fiora says, not Melia. And yeah, you might notice the chains are gone, so now might be a good time to mention exactly how the Reaper works. I might not be able to fully go into it here, but how it works is that after you open 20 chests, you'll hear the chains. And then the next chest you open, that would have been a shadow ambush, and it has to be a shadow ambush, has a chance of containing the Reaper. But if you open a chest that's not a shadow ambush, then the chains go away. And if you go to a different floor or leave the dungeon, the chains also go away. So you'll also be warned if the chest contains the Reaper. So really you'll never encounter him without explicitly wanting to. Now, I've actually forgotten which boss this is. But I may as well leave the Trumpeter anyway. Yeah, of course, like, you could see that coming a mile away. Of course he was just being a troll. So, this fight is really interesting as well.
Oh, that's not good. Darkness won't work.
The Chaos Fuzz.
No problem. It'll be over in a flash.
This is also kind of weird. It says it's Arcana as Magician here, but that mask is clearly a Hierophant mask. And when this thing appears as a regular enemy, it's also Hierophant. So these things are quite weak and have no immunities or weaknesses apart from Light and Dark, which they null. And all they do is summon more enemies. They either summon more of themselves, or they summon Yearning Pots or Amora Snakes. Or amorous snakes, whatever. But yeah, this is just another one of those cases of just Adachi's dungeon having so much weird personality to it. Like, the fact that he sicks a mini-boss on you that is multiplying police officers. This mini-boss always just stood out to me just because of how incredibly weird it was. And again, I just think that's really in character for Adachi. It's just, I really love this dungeon and the way that it works. It just, again, personality is how I describe it. It's the perfect dungeon for the killer. The one we've been searching this whole game to fight. Anyway, let's see if we can deal with these guys. What you really want to do in this fight is use a big Mind Charge attack and take them all out at once. Otherwise, they'll continue to multiply. Yes, the police officers will continue to multiply. Again, it's such a weird concept for a fight, but at the same time, it just fits Adachi so well. Now that should... Yep, it killed everything. So, not a particularly hard fight, but it's just always been really memorable to me. It doesn't even give very much money either. Probably because, you know, you can potentially endlessly farm them. And so, yeah, this place didn't even have the stairs in it. So, let's find that, and then we will head back. Yep, there's the stairs. There's no way to get here without fighting the Chaos Fuzzers. I had a feeling you'd be a shadow. So yeah, if I hadn't opened that that chest earlier, that could have potentially been the Reaper. But you don't need to worry about fighting the Reaper by accident, trust me, because if you do open the chest that has the Reaper, the game will basically tell you with, like, it'll give you basically 3 dialogue prompts saying, are you really, really, really sure you want to open that?
Someone finish this one off.
So, like, it's not likely you'll ever fight the Reaper by accident.
You can win this.
Is anything here immune to ice? I guess we'll find out. Well, they are. But they're both dizzy, so I can just rush them. The bone and the gun are mightier than the sword. Oh, skill level up. I guess that'll just change Zeodyne to Muzzeodyne, I think. I don't want a half experience, though, on Trumpeter, because I want Trumpeter to be leveling up. Let's take experience up. Yep, Muzzeodyne. More money and experience. And there's Wind Amp. I kind of like to keep both Wind Boost and Amp on Yosuke. Yeah, Diorama's not great right now. It's actually the best tier of healing Yosuke ever gets, sadly. But he'd probably be a bit too good if he got Medea Rahan, so I like how Teddy and Yukio at least have that to themselves. And with that, we have the item we'll need to leave here. Let's proceed into floor 4 to set this as the checkpoint. Yeah, we are the only people in the entire world who want to know the truth. Adachi is doing another one of those just typical villain things where he's all like, all of you are just so self-righteous. Nothing that you're doing is really benefiting anyone, and yeah, you're just all secretly selfish like I am. Ha 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 ha. It's just, it's just really stupid when you get down to it, but it's still fun to watch. let's leave through the actual door. And yes, next time we will be doing some fusion and then progressing further into Magatsu Mandala.